have done this, what you should have. Hopefully yours looks a bit like this. So what I've got at the top here is I planned out my question 3. Now you might not need to have this much writing, but for the demo one I thought I'd do it all kind of fully. A lot of this I would have in my head, wouldn't need to do it. So my overall effect that I put up here is that she makes a discovery that will change everything. I've talked about it creating a sense of tension, it creating a sense of excitement, and the mystery about the discovery. For my 3 parts, you can see where I've split it. I put the first one after here, just there. The second one I put down here, and those are my 3 sections. Then I wrote down up at the top what they are. So the first one, I'm going to talk about the beautiful, mysterious setting of the mountains that happens here, and about what that establishes as an effect. In the middle, I'm talking about the way that everyone's failed so far on the trip. Yeah, Alice has made this great discovery, so it juxtaposes the group's failure with her success. Then finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about the ending that foreshadows the changes. This is quite a selfish choice. There's actually quite a lot of sort of dark, negative language suggests that she's making a terrible mistake. For question 1, what I've done is I've circled all the answers that I could have given. Now, this is my advice for question 1. Rather than just picking 4, pick all of them, then choose the 4 best. So it's warm, Alice is thirsty, Alice drinks a lot in great gulps, there is a heat haze, the road is dented, so the road is dented, the sky is blue, endless blue, that there are cicadas, that it says here they're little like crickets that make a noise in the wilderness, and the grass is dry. Now when I'm choosing which of those to write up, I want the 4 that are most different. So I probably wouldn't go with both warm and heat haze, because you might argue that's the same thing. I wouldn't go with thirsty and drinking, because again, that's kind of the same thing. So I want the 4 that I think are the most different for question number 1. For question 2, again, I've put down the things I'm looking for. That's what I'm going to argue. I'm going to say that it's very beautiful, but also quite dangerous and mysterious. So trying to find more than one thing to say. And again, I've highlighted my techniques. So I'm going to talk about the jagged peaks. I'm going to talk about the way the flowers peep out, like they're scared. I'm going to talk about these phrases here, seen and concealed too much, the personification that they use. So I've got my 3 techniques. I might do 2, I might do 3, but I've got them there ready. Then for question 4, what I've done is I've got my 3 points. So I'm going to argue that it's mysterious and give these examples here. I've highlighted them in pink so I know what they go with, and I've done that down here in the text. I've then talked about agreeing that it's life-changing. I've got some quotes here to show that things are going to change. Then my point I made was that I'm going to say it could be life-changing in a good way, that it will help her become famous or better, but also talk about the way it could be life-changing in a bad way. So I'm kind of disagreeing with the statement, but I'm showing a different way of reading it. Okay. So once you plan that out, let's go talk about question 1 and question 2. So for question number 1, again, this is pretty simple. The key thing is to focus on the facts. So I want to try and pick out the things that I think are the best. So I'm going to start with Alice. I'm just going to say that she's thirsty. Now you could write Alice is thirsty, or you could just write thirsty. I think it's best to be clear. So I'm going to just put that she's thirsty. That's my first one. That is a fact I get from the text. I can check it there. Happy with that. I'm going to say that the area is warm. I'm going to say it's warm. Okay, make sure you're clear, please. So it's warm. Thank you. I'm not going to say heat haze. Remember, it's Alice and the surroundings. It's Alice and the setting. Okay. So I'm not going to talk about the heat haze. I'm going to talk about it being warm. Okay. I'm going to talk about potentially the sky being blue. So I'm going to the sky is blue. Okay. And I'm going to talk about I can either choose the grass being dry, or I can talk about the cicadas. Doesn't matter what I pick. I get marks for any of them. So I'm going to say the cicadas are making a noise. So I'm just going to put here cicadas making noise. Now again, what I don't want to do, right, is I don't want to find things that aren't facts. Okay, these are all facts. Alice, surroundings. Alice is thirsty. That is a fact about Alice. It's warm. is a fact about the surrounding, where she is. What's wrong?
I thought that the warm was like same as the water as well.
No.
They said it's warm, she never catches.
Oh, no, well, the water's warm. It's warm. Oh, okay, so maybe that's the water. Okay, in which case that's fine. I can just go heat haze. Fair point though. Even I can be tricked, right? Heat haze. It's warm, but she's too thirsty to care and drinks it down in great gulps. Yeah, no, fair point. Water. You could say the water was warm. That'd probably get you a mark. But potentially no. Potentially I've missed one out. Thank you. Right. Blue, fact. Cicadas, fact. Right. Question number 2. Now this is the language question, okay? I'll give you an example of how this is done. So, it's only worth 8 marks. What we want for this, please, is one paragraph. Okay? 1 paragraph. Now, the key for this is we've got to have a good point and good techniques. So, we want to begin with, I say this all the time, never changes, a multi-layered point. So if we say, for example, the mountain is beautiful, that is true, but it doesn't show any perception. It's clear. So we want to try and make, say, 2 things about the mountain. The mountain is both beautiful, but also something else. Okay. Now, what you might want to do is you could say it's beautiful, but dangerous and mysterious. Then you'll get one technique for each of those points that you make. Okay. So you want to have 2 or 3 techniques. Okay. And then for each technique, you want to try and have 2 effects. Okay. So you're doing multi-layers, right? Multi-layer points, multi-layered effects, right? Good. So let's do times 2 about the mountain. Okay. Now this is literally like doing a standard literature paragraph. So you would go, the writer uses language to describe the mountain as being this, but also this. Okay. The writer uses this to show this, or emphasize this, but also this, and uses this to show this, but also this. Okay. Right. Let's give this a go. Okay.